Hello and welcome to our programme Q&A session that will cover the MSc in Oral Sciences. We're joined by our panel today, which is a mix of our University of Glasgow staff and some current students. So it'll be great to hear both perspectives of the programme. We are recording the session, so don't panic if you miss anything. We will share that shortly for you to watch it back in your own time. And if afterwards you have any further questions, don't worry, this isn't your only chance to ask those questions. The programme administrator email address is on the programme webpage of our website, so do get in touch afterwards if you think of anything further. So Jason, would you like to kick off and introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. So my name is Jason Brown. I am the programme lead for the Oral Science MSc. So I'm a biomedical scientist by training. I specialise in microbiology and infection biology, and I'm a lecturer in oral sciences here at the Glasgow Dental School at the University of Glasgow.
Susan?
Hi, I'm Susan Christie. I'm the Programme Administrator for MSc Oral Sciences. I'm the person that will help you with all the queries that you have throughout your time with us, everything from when classes are and what time assessments are, etc. So there's never any question too small or too silly to ask me. Please just approach me and I'm happy to help.
Shiloh?
All right, hi, my name is Shiloh Kadango, and I am a current master's in oral sciences student here at the University of Glasgow. So yeah.
Nikita?
Yeah, hi, my name is Nitika, and I'm also one of the current students at Oral Sciences Master's Program. And if you want to know, I'm from India.
Great. And Jason, could you give us an overview of the programme?
Absolutely. So yes, so this oral science MSc, it's designed to kind of treat or teach fundamental yet translational science to those that are often from a kind of dentistry or clinical background. So in the early modules on the course, we kind of try and teach or provide a strong foundation of knowledge related to a variety of different biological sciences, such as microbiology, immunology, cellular biology, and molecular biology. And then in the later modules, we build upon that knowledge and specialise in various subjects relating to our research interests. So we are an active research group at the University of Glasgow Dental School within the field of oral science. So in the latest modules, we will specialise in those disciplines. So we're active researchers. We have over 10 PhD students in our research group that are conducting laboratory science on a day-to-day basis. And one of the key things on this course is we like to let the students, we release the students into the laboratories to actually get some laboratory experience and actually become real world scientists.
That's great. And such a big part of the MSc is the research project. Could you tell us a little bit more about that? So how do students decide on a topic? When does all that happen? Just a wee bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. So the research projects are specifically titled the dissertations. These will occur in semester 3. So that's around April to July, August time. So we offer either dry-based or wet-based projects. So what they are is a dry-based project is whereby the student ultimately decides on their own topic, and they will then conduct a dissertation either as a literature review, a systematic review, or they actually might be given some existing data sets to analyze. So that's for a dry-based project. For a wet-based project, as I've said, we are active researchers working within the field of oral science, microbiology, immunology, molecular biology. And what we try and do with the wet-based projects is actually get the students into the laboratory to undertake some projects related to the PhD students that they'll be working alongside. So the students have the opportunity to do some either dry-based or wet-based dissertation projects, depending on the student themselves.
Great. And speaking of students, how are our current students currently enjoying the programme? Have you had a favourite part of it so far?
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna start. Yeah, first of all, I'm coming from a dental background, so I'm a dentist by profession. So first things first, I didn't know that I would actually enjoy the scientific part of it. So I'm so grateful that I've been able to, because at first, when I first started the semester, it was a bit, last semester, the first one, it was a bit hectic. I was like, why am I learning about like how oral diseases are like, like they start, why are we talking about cells? Why are we talking about microbiome and all that stuff? Because back in dental school, you would only learn that like the first year pre-dent, and then like a little bit of like the main course of the whole thing, but it wasn't so much. But then the fact that I'm able to get in depth and like understand why oral diseases are actually formed, how they're formed, how biofilms forms that from scratch, it's very interesting to see the build up and to see what you can do to avoid that or to prevent that from happening. So yeah, it's been pretty cool to understand that.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, like she covered what I wanted to say, but apart from that, what I would like to add is that there are like you learn a lot about diseases and what happens, what is the treatment, and but then the research perspective of what you are learning, what the diseases are, and how you can contribute to something you can cure, maybe you can invent. That is what I have learned here since I've been here. We've we as I'm also a dentist, most of us are in our batch, so we have like more of a clinical mind that as into the disease and the cure, and that's it. But since we have been here with our teachers and professors, we've learned to have a very different and like treatment based perspective, as well as wherein we can contribute and we can maybe invent something new to cure
Mm-hmm.
those diseases. There's a like
Mm-hmm.
different perspective to as what we learned in our graduation degree. That is what I really enjoy. It makes you thinking. Your mind is working. Oh, is that so? Why is that so? You learn a lot. I mean, your mind is very active all the time. That's what I enjoy about
That's good. It's good you're enjoying it.
it. Yeah.
And Jason, we touched on it there, but what sort of background do students typically have?
Yeah, so most of the students, so we've had since the inception of the course in 2017, we've had over 110 students. The vast majority of those are from a clinical background, and most of those are from a dental profession. So either dentists, hygienists, therapists, dental nurses as well. But we do also take on students that have a science undergraduate degree. So any sort of biomedical, biological science background would be well suited for this MSc.
Great. And can you tell us a little bit about the assessments that will happen during the MSc, or is it a bit of a mix?
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, so we have a wide variety of assessment styles, or what we call summative assessments. So assessments that will count towards your final grades for each of the modules. So we will assess you either using kind of standard essays that you maybe are familiar with from your undergraduate days, some in-person exams, but then we also have a wide range of assessment styles that you maybe aren't used to as undergraduate students. So there'll be things like laboratory reports, laboratory books, oral and poster presentations. There'll be a component of one module in semester 2 where you'll have to create your own website on an innovative technology associated with oral science. So we do pride ourselves on having a vast variety of different assessment styles, which is obviously very good for you as students moving forward, and you'll gain a lot of valuable transferable skills in a wide range of different things.
And to our students, how have you found the transition from sort of working to your masters?
A bit different, obviously, because well, for me, I've worked for the past 6 years now as a dentist, so it was a bit hard to transition back into being a student, first of all, because it's like, okay, I've been working all this time, and then now I have to actually, focus and manage my time wisely. Because it's all good at the beginning, obviously, because you're getting to know and understand what we're required to do, but then it does get busy eventually. Like right now we're in the thick of assessments actually. And it's like every minute counts. So, and for somebody who, I feel like for people who know that they're not able to, they're coming from like a work background, they've been working for quite a bit. You really have to manage your time pretty good. Like try your best to manage your time to do your things correctly and prioritize things that are important. Because Glasgow is a very beautiful place and there's so many places to go, so many places, so many things to do, but like just really focus, because sometimes like for me, I have a little bit of anxiety, so I want to make sure that I'm making sure I'm done with my stuff prior to the due dates. So I think just time management for me is the best thing I can tell all the prospective students that are coming in. Like you have to manage your time wisely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You have to manage your time very, very wisely. And adding on to that, when you are in undergraduate, you have a lot of like as dentist, what I can say is you have a lot of theory-based exam. You have a lot of vivas. You have a lot of written exams. Wherein here we have a lot of summative exams, which I said previously. Like you have to think. You have to think of a topic. To be innovative, something out of the box. You have to think about your research proposals. You have to think about the topics that you want to write, which is very different as to the written examination or maybe the oral viva you were used to giving during your undergraduate years, which is quite different from what we are doing right now. Like we have to still, as Shiloh mentioned, we have a lot of submissions coming up, and it's very difficult to decide topics. What do you want to do? Because there sometimes if you go into like you are researching and like if you are doing masters, you have to read a lot on your own.
Yeah.
Decide what you want to do. But then when you're reading, your mind is so distracted. Oh, this sounds so tempting. Can I do this? You change your things again and again and again, and you end up with a totally different thing as to where you started with. So you have to manage your time wisely and be very selective in deciding about what you want to do in your masters and your research proposals or any kind of submissions for that matter.
Yeah.
That's great. And Susan, is there any sort of support available for students if they maybe needed additional sort of support with maybe English and things like that?
Yes, the College of all the colleges and have student support coordinators who are there to act as a kind of signpost to help out with information from everything from issues with your visa or your accommodation or your physical or mental health. They would signpost you to the right place to go. But the university also has the Student Learning Development Service, which is a fantastic service that you can access videos, you can access online slides, you can go to face-to-face workshops with them, covering everything for from how to write an essay, how to take the feedback you're given, understand it, and then use that the next time that you have a similar piece of work to do. And student learning development do come out to the dental school several times a year as well to give talks on various things like academic writing and planning your dissertation. So whilst most of the classes for the MSc Oral Sciences are based at the Dental School and Hospital in Sucky Hall Street, there are a lot of services at the main campus in Gilmore Hill, where in semester one you will have some classes up there. So there's lots of support available for students, whatever form that support need takes.
Perfect. I suppose it's just knowing that support's there and asking for it if you do need it, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say to students, do not be shy about asking for help. Don't in any way feel that that's a bad thing or that anyone would judge you for that. We would always, you rather ask a question and that saves you worrying, definitely.
Yeah, no, definitely. I know this is a really difficult question to answer, but how often should students expect to be kind of in class and on campus each week? And I know that will vary week to week, semester to semester, but is there a rough answer you could give?
Well, so yeah, it will vary from semester to semester. It depends on what optional courses you pick as well. It is a full-time master's course, so I would expect or anticipate students to be in around maybe 3 to 4 days a week, and that can vary from anywhere from a few hours for one class to maybe 2 or 3 classes, which would be anywhere from about 5 to 6 hours per day. So yeah, so as the two students said, Shyla and Nitika, it is a big change from undergraduate to postgraduate level in terms of teaching. It is very student driven. We do expect the students to do a lot of reading around the topic. We like to teach them the basics and then give them a taste of different innovations, different technologies, different techniques. And then it's on the students to go away and do some further reading on those particular topics to then perhaps choose them for their summative assessments. So it can vary, but I would say anywhere from about 3 to 4 days a week for maybe 2 to 6 hours a day.
Perfect. And is there much opportunity for practical work throughout the Masters?
Yeah, so I'm actually obviously I'm the program lead, but I'm also a module lead for the two laboratory-based modules. So oral science research skills, which is in semester 1, and then advanced oral science research skills, which is in semester 2. And these are just laboratory-based modules whereby the students will actually get over 10 hours of experience in the laboratories on both of those semesters. So lots of chance to do and learn some basic science, actually become scientists working in a laboratory safely. And then also certain students, if they want to, will have the opportunity to do a wet-based laboratory dissertation, as I talked about earlier, and actually be able to work alongside some of our PhD students in a laboratory for a bit more of a prolonged period of time.
Great. And is there anything that any sort of prospective students can do before they start their studies in September? Any advice or preparation for them?
So the short answer to that is no, not really. So as I've said a few times, and as the two girls have said, is that we like to teach up-to-date innovative science, which is, regularly changing year on year. We don't tend to teach textbook science, which is what the undergraduate students will be more familiar with in terms of the very basics of science that they had in the first few years of their undergraduate degree. So all I would say is maybe do a bit of background reading on some of our recent publications from our research group. As I've said before, we are active researchers within the fields of oral science. So if you are wanting to do a bit of background reading, although it's not necessary, maybe go away and have a read of some of the publications that we've published in the last 5 years or so from our research group.
Perfect. And Susan, do you have any advice for students before they start?
Before they start, I would just try and be as organized as possible, as the students have already pointed out, because when you start, you'll have a week of inductions and kind of orienting yourself around the university and the campus. And the two different buildings that you will tend to be based at, which are about, I would say it's a 20-minute walk apart. I'm not sure other people would get, I walk quite quickly. So you're kind of navigating that knowledge of the different places in Glasgow that you're going to. And then it's quite full on. I think the students would maybe agree with me. In semester 1, suddenly you're in classes and you're expected for every hour of teaching as a postgraduate to do 10 hours of self-directed learning. And this is why if you maybe only have 6 hours of teaching 1 week, for some reason, you're expected to also carry out 60 hours of self-directed learning and reading yourself in the library at home, whatever. So it's I guess I would say get as organized as possible before you come to Glasgow, so you're ready to just throw yourself right into it and enjoy the experience as well.
And what about our student panel? Have you got any advice or anything you wish you had done before you started your MSc?
Okay, what I would like to point out where I missed, maybe you select your accommodation very wisely, because you have your classes divided between dental school and university. So accommodation should be somewhere in between, which should be a good choice, because I have people who are very close to the uni. We are very close to dental school, so it's like divided. It's like if we have class at dental school, we are happy, but if they have accommodation at like in uni, so they are happy. So choose your accommodation wisely is one. And secondly, if like initially if you are very free, don't get used to it, because the assessments and everything will catch up on you so soon. You'll be bombarded with it, and then you'll feel like, oh my god, where did my time go? You will not even realize how your year is going to go by. And please don't get used to it, when because then it's like, okay, you are we are free, we don't have that much work, but then you have a lot of it, and it takes a lot of time. Also, please do like ask whatever you want to ask. Susan answers everything. I irritate her so much, like I ask her even the silliest questions to her, even like Dr. Brown or any other teacher you want to ask. You can ask them anything and they'll answer. So if you have any issues or problems or questions, you can just directly go to them and like ask whatever you want to ask. So just ask, please don't get lost or something. Just ask the questions. So that's what I think I feel.
Yeah, just in addition, really, not to repeat anything, I think just know yourself as well as a student, like know what type of student you are, know whether your strengths and your weaknesses in stuff, so that you can know how to read what is required of you, or how to study, or how to do stuff like that is required of you. Because if you don't know how, for example, maybe Niti might know how to do something a little bit better than me, and vice versa, and then we fall on each other's like strengths, you know what I mean, and then we help each other, which is good, because you need to have that. Because if you don't know, you might know your weakness might be this and might be that, and then you might just go along with the wind and think that, oh, it's okay, everybody else is doing this, or everybody else is not doing their stuff, so I'm okay. And you might be a slow learner, or you might be somebody who needs a little bit of time to understand something or a concept that, you know. So know yourself, don't be lost in what everybody else is doing, you know, like just be yourself and know what to do. Yeah,
That's great advice.
Also focus on feedback, which is like very important. Get as
oh
much.
yeah.
It works a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. We've had a few questions come through the chat, but most of them are around scholarships and funding. So I've shared some links in the chat box. Do check out our website for more information on that. One of the questions in there, Jason, is can students work on AI related research?
Yeah, so obviously, given what's happened over the last few years and the kind of flurry in AI related research, you know, we do offer certain sessions on AI. So some of the clinicians working in the dental school are kind of dabbling in research related to AI. So you will receive some material related to that. And of course, you are more than welcome to choose that topic for parts of either your dissertation or for your summative assessments on the various modules.
Perfect. And I think probably our last question, could you tell us a wee bit about the careers? So what do sort of students tend to go into after graduation?
Yeah, absolutely. So either laboratory positions, whether that be in industry or academia. So what I always say to the students in the first few weeks is we want to make scientists out of you. Yes, you may be from a clinical background, but we actually want to be able to create scientists and allow you to be able to work safely and accurately and efficiently within a laboratory environment. So some of the students take those skills forward and move into positions either in academia or industry. Other students will either go back home. A lot of our students are overseas students, so they go back home and either continue further training in dentistry or undertake teaching careers within their institutes back home. And then we have had a number of students over the years, over 20 students that have come through the course, have gone on to do further postgraduate study, either that be clinical master's degrees or actually pursue PhDs within the field of oral science or elsewhere within biological science.
Great. And what about our students? Do you know what you want to do after you graduate, or is that still to be decided?
It changes every day, to be honest. But you know, all in all, I think that it's just a great, like the Masters of Oral Sciences is just a great start. It's like a great start to big possibilities. So as Doc said already, like lab as a scientist, or like teaching, very, very, very passionate about teaching myself, I guess. That's something that I've always wanted to do, get into academics. But I am still thinking about maybe getting into a PhD as well, because of where I'm from. I'm from Malawi, so we do need a lot of awareness in the dental field, to be honest. So it's something that I want to venture into, probably. Not too sure whether it'll be immediately or a little bit later, after maybe I do a little bit of like work of some sort, so that maybe I do get that experience, whatever it is that's going to take me. But I'm very open to either academic to continue, or to work and get some work experience off of it, of what I've learned so far, which could be most likely academics. So yeah.
Adding on to that, like this particular course, Oral Sciences, it allows you to know whether research is for you or not as clinicians, because once you've worked in clinics as dentists, also during your graduation, you're not much exposed to, as Dr. Brown mentioned, to the laboratory work, where in here you get to know how you work in labs, whether research is for you or not. And in general, dentistry is a field which is not very well researched about. There's not much research about the diseases, the cure, or there are other factors also. So I think PhD is a good option to go for. But means, like, while you're doing the course, you do get tempted to go for PhD, which I am also. But it's still, I'm thinking about, maybe I'll go into teaching, maybe I'll go for a PhD. Still not decided. It's as Shiloh mentioned, it changes every single day. But yeah, if you join the course, you have time to decide, and you get a clearer perspective as to what you want to do, whether you want to get into research or not, whilst you get a degree of master's.
Oh, fab. It's nice to have the option though, isn't it? And you've got some time, you can still decide. Well, thanks very much. Actually, there's just one wee question that has just popped through there, Jason. I don't know if that's one that you could answer. I'm planning to do research related to oral manifestations and inflammation related to wearing prosthetic, particularly malleofacial this. Is it reliable during my master's as graduation research? Did that make sense to you?
I mean, you will learn about certain topics related to that. So we do have some prosthodontists here at the dental school that will teach you on the various modules. And if you are coming with a specific research question in mind, that makes our job a lot easier as teaching staff. It means that we can actually align you with the expert that's already working here at the dental school when it comes to your dissertation project.
Perfect. I appreciate I really butchered that question, so apologies.
It's fine.
Well, thanks very much to all our panel for taking time at your days. I know you've got really busy diaries, so thanks very much for answering all those questions. Hopefully everybody watching has found that useful. Like I said, if you do have any further questions, please do get in touch. The email address is on our programme webpage, and it'll likely be Susan that picks that up, so you already know each other. So yeah, and we hope to see you all come September time. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Naomi.
Bye.